for being part of our world. I want to talk to you about one of the greatest seminars I ever attended, which was the Robert Allen Nothing Down seminar. And in that seminar, it was a 2-day event that we went to, and we talked about the nothing down and how to do all that. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about that in a second, but I want you to remember, as we're talking about your small businesses, your real estate, whatever you're doing, you need to find it. Out of 100 properties out there for sale, 100 products out there for sale, only 2 out of 100 fit our criteria. So you got to hunt, you got to find the great stuff. And more importantly, you got to get people calling you with great deals. That's how I bought so much property, is I created a network, and then people would actually reach out to me with their good deals. I had my own billboards, I had my own newspaper ad, I had stuff that it was my own websites and stuff like that. And people would call me, and it got to the point where I never even looked at the properties anymore. I had people out there finding the properties, and then we would fund them and go that direction and make a profit on them. But there's the find it, then fund it. This is the key. The second one is fund it and then fix it. Find it, fund it, fix it. Then you can either flip it or farm it. How are you going to make your profit? You're either going to flip it or farm it. Now, in this section, I want to talk a little bit about the fund it part, because this is where it really freaks people out. How am I going to get the money to do it? Well, the key is really not to fund it, it's to find it, is to find a good deal. And if you can find a good deal, that's the key. So what I want to do is I want to talk to you a little bit about the 50 nothing down techniques that are in the one of the products that we have here. And let me take you and show you where you can find that. So as you come back into the site itself, okay, you come back into the site, we're going to go here to courses, and then we're going to come down here to the free books and downloads. Free books and downloads. We're going to click on the free downloads. And in the free downloads, of course, there are some wonderful products here. Cash flow trackers, the 5 steps. There's the bargain finder that we're going to use right here. I want you to, as you're doing your stuff and finding good deals, all of you are going to buy some real estate. Your goal is to buy 1 or 2 pieces of real estate every year. So this is how you're going to keep track of those properties. Is you're going to come here and get this bargain finder. You're going to click to download it. And then once you've downloaded it, I want you to physically print it. I want you to physically print 50 of these. Number them 1 through 50. And every time you look at a property, I want you to get as much information as you can out of that property, so you can start learning value. Until you understand value, everything else is worthless. So we got to start learning value. Now, coming back to the download section, this is one of the best books out there, which is the 50 nothing down techniques. And this is the one that's called Download the PDF, the nothing down real estate techniques. So as you pull it up there, here it is right here. And I just want to tell you a quick story about how I learned all this stuff. Was, when I was in college, I saw an ad. I went to a free seminar, and it was by Robert Allen, and it was called Nothing Down: How to Buy Real Estate with Little or Nothing Down. Now, my dad taught me about real estate, but he didn't really teach me the system. We just did it together. And Bob was a famous author. Mark Harrelson was an author. Mark Harrelson owned the real estate apartment complex I lived in when I was going to school. And he dropped off a bunch of books to the office, and I grabbed one of the books. And I was so excited about it that I started reading the book. And I actually, in one of my business classes, I did my thesis on real estate. And one of my professors owned a 3-unit building. And I went to his home and interviewed him and learned everything I could about the real estate that he did. Great gentleman. He and his wife had me for lunch, and it was just a great experience. And then I went to the Robert Allen Nothing Down seminar. It was $445 to get in, which was a lot of money, 30 plus years ago. And I didn't have the money, but the second person got in for a half price, and my brother was going to go, so I was going to go as the half price guest. Well, he had something that came up and he couldn't go, and so he ended up not going to the event. But I really wanted to go, so I went early, helped set up, and hoped they'd still give me the discount. And she called me up at noon and says, "Hey, your brother didn't show up, so you have to pay the full price to get in." I said, "I don't have the money. Can we find another way to do it?" And she said, "Well, no, not really. You got to pay the full price. And I says, you know what? I'm a student. Don't you have the student discount price? And he goes, I don't. Or can you prove to me you're going to college? Yeah, I can. And I literally went out into the car. I can remember it like it was yesterday. Went out in my car and got my psych book and my physics book. And I brought him back into the lady and I said, I'm really going to college. I'd really like to stay, but I don't have the money for the full price. I can do the student discount price. And she agreed to that. And luckily I got to stay. And of the 2-day seminar that I went through, the 50 nothing down techniques, and it was a ton of information because I didn't know much. And, I was just absorbing stuff, and it took a while to learn. It's like a new language. But the one thing I got out of there more than anything else was that it was possible. That's the one thing that I really got out of there, that it was possible. It was possible to go out and buy real estate with little or nothing down. It's possible to start a small business. It's possible to fund a business. There are all these techniques that these big companies use that nobody's taught you. And these are well known if you know where to go. So one of the things I want you to do is I want you to go to the Robert Allen Nothing Down techniques, the 50 nothing down takes. And your assignment is to go through and to read this book. Now, part of it's going to be Greek to you. I would really like you to go through the book called How to Wake Up the Financial Genius Inside of You. So let's go back to this one here first. As we go to courses, we're going to go to the money courses and the real estate courses. This is a great book that I really love, which is the Mark Harrelson book on real estate.
Can you share your screen so we can see it?
I'm not sharing my screen. Don't you just hate that when I don't do that?
There we go.
Thank you for telling me, because I didn't know. Okay, so as you come here to the real estate section, money courses, boy, we got a lot of stuff here. Right here. This is what I love that you go through, is the Mark Harrelson real estate book. It's very simple, very easy to understand, probably the easiest one to understand. Then I would go through the Road to Wealth book, and then the Real Estate Launch. I really love all of those. And so that's very important. I also think that I think you can download the book from here. You can go here and download the book. But going back to, so that's really important. Going back here to the free books and to the Nothing Down technique one right here. So again, you go back to the downloads. Sorry for going so fast. Let's go through the 50 nothing down techniques. This 24-hour challenge, how we made money on the internet in 24 hours. Fabulous product to go through it as well. But I want you to go through this book, the 50 nothing down techniques. And then next week, I'm going to go through, and what I'd love to have you do is send me a message or an email of one of the techniques you want me to teach, because I've done most of these techniques, and some of them I've done a lot of. Technique one, I did a whole bunch. Technique number 50, I've done a whole bunch of. And these are the techniques that you can use to buy real estate or businesses, or to fund your product or fund your business or whatever it is. But I really want you to kind of go through these and learn them. And then next week, sorry, we're about out of time today. I'll take you through some of these wonderful techniques, because I've done a ton of these different techniques. And they all fit hand in hand with the bargain finder that we're going to spend more time on next week as well. So that's your assignment for next week. Okay. So that's where I was going to go. Sorry, we kind of ran out of daylight on that one. Here's our goal, is to be able to get you through here. We'll get into more of that, but that's your assignment. I want you to go through Mark Harrelson's How to Wake Up the Financial Genius Inside of You. Wonderful book, wonderful book. Robert Allen, and I actually helped him write the book, The Road to Wealth, and then the Real Estate Launch. I want you to go through the 50 nothing down techniques. And again, the things you learn for real estate is going to work for businesses too. It's going to work for all kinds of things. It's a toolbox that you can use to do all kinds of wonderful things with. So we're going to come right back in just a second. We're going to say goodbye to all of our friends. We're going to be back next week. We're going to get a lot more hardcore into some fun techniques, and then we'll go from there. All right, so everybody stay tuned. We got to come back for one more section, and then we're going to give a whole bunch of money away. We're going to give you money for just being here today, because our purpose is to help you get your small businesses going, and our purpose is to help plant money trees. So that's what we do. We put $3 million into the foundation, and my goal is to get rid of that before I die. And when we talked about how long you got on Earth, hopefully you're gonna live till 90. Well, my aunt only lived till 78. So, you never know how much time you got on this Earth. I could have been gone when I was 34. You gotta get going. Let's get going. And remember, money's a game and games are fun. Finance is a game and games are fun. Real estate's a game and games are fun. Life is a game and games are fun. Find the fun in it. Be back in just a second. Thanks.